Hello all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with the Unit 10, Subsection 5 of Mmpc 008, that is SDLC consists of mainly 7 phases. In last video, we already discussed what is SDLC, and these phases are, there is 7 phases. One is project identification and selection, project initiation and planning, analysis, logical design, physical design, implementation, operation and maintenance. And in the first phase, there is project identification and selection. The first phase in SDLC is called project identification and selection. And in this phase, the user identifies the need for a new or improved system. This this phase stage tries to answer the question, why do we need a new system? And what do we want to accomplish. So this stage determines whether the organization has a problem and whether that problem can be solved by building a new information system or modify an existing one. Okay, so this is first phase, and the second phase is project initiation and planning. The second phase, the problem that are identified should be investigated and a decision to implement the information system or not for the organization should be taken. And a critical step at this point is determining the scope of the proposed system, and the project leader and initial team of a system analyst also produce a specific plan for the proposed project, which the team will follow using the remaining SDLC steps. And analysis is the next phase. During this phase, the analysis has several subphases, and the first is requirement determination. In this subphase, system analysts work with the users to determine the requirements and expectations of users from the proposed system. And the system study stage analyzes the problem of existing system in detail and identifies objectives to be attained by a solution to this problem and describes the alternative solutions. And the system study stage examines the feasibility of each solution alternatives for review by management. And answering these questions require extensive information gathering and research and careful study of current system manual or computerized that might be replaced or enhanced as part of this project, seeing through documents, reports and work papers produced by existing systems and observing how this system work and polling users with the questionnaire and conducting interviews. And next phase is under this there is technical feasibility, economic feasibility, organization feasibilities are there. You just once read this section, so in between any doubts you can contact us anytime. And next phase is logical design. Logical design layout the components of the system and their relationships to each other as they would appear to users, and it specifies what the system solution would do as opposed to how it is actually implemented physically, and it describes inputs and outputs, processing a function to be performed, business procedures, data models and controls. Controls specify standard for acceptable performance and method for measuring actual performances. And next is physical design. Physical design in the process of translating the abstract logical modeling into the specific technical design for the new system. It produces the actual specification of for hardware, software, physical databases, and input or output, media, manual procedures and specific controls. Physical design provides a specification that transforms the abstract logical design plan into a function system of people and machines. As said above, conversation from logical design to physical design takes place in this phase of SDLC. For example, diagrams are converted to map the origin and starting point to other processing steps, flow and processing of data in the system. This conversation is done into a structured system design that can then be broken down into smaller and smaller units known as modules for further conversation to instructions written in a programming language. Implementation is the process of putting a system into operation in an organization. During implementation, system specification, that is output of the system design phase, is turned into working system that is tested and put into use. Implementation includes coding, programming using computer languages, testing of the developed software system and installation of the system. And in fact, large organization may adopt this phase into two: development of the software by coding, programming, and testing of the developed system in one phase, and in another phase system testing, training and installation of the developed system. The installation phase begins with implementation planning for developing the software by computer programs using computer language, the process of creating plans for training, conversation from from old system to newly developed system, and testing of the system by the technical team and users. And during coding, programmers write programs that make up the system. Some system development projects assign programming tasks to specialists, those who work consistent exclusively of coding programs. And other projects prefer programmers or analysts who both design and code software programs, since large systems entail many programs with thousands, even hundreds of thousands of line of code. Programming teams are frequently used. The training plan explaining how and when the users will be trained. Testing information system can be broken down into three phases of activities: unit testing or program testing. It consists of testing each program separately in the system, and testing should be viewed as a means of locating errors in program, focusing on finding all the ways to make a program fail, and once pinpointed problems can be corrected. System testing, it consists of testing the functioning of the information system as a whole. It tries to determine if discrete modules will function together as planned and whether discrepancies exist between the ways the system actually works and the way it was conceived. Among the areas examined are performance, times, capacity for the storage and handling, peak load, recovery and restart capabilities, and manual procedures. And next one is, please go through this, please read this also. Okay. So for conversation, for main strategies can be the parallel strategy, direct cut over strategy, pilot study strategy, and the phase approach strategy. Okay. So you should also prepare, this is, I'm just reading this units, because you also need to read this unit, because आपको भी ये पढ़ना है. हम लोग शॉर्ट नोट्स और शॉर्ट लेक्चर्स देने में कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. आप लोग भी साथ में मटेरियल्स पढ़ना ज़रूरी है फॉर सक्सेसफुल और गुड मार्क्स और गुड परसेंटेज in term and examination, for because it's not a normal degree program through distance. It's a MBA course and it's a professional course, so you need to at least maintain 60% above or first class is very important for your professional life. So apparently you आप लोग को भी ये read करना ज़रूरी है materials. एंड शॉर्टकट में ये टॉपिक्स बताने में कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. एंड ऑल्सो आप लोगों को ये क्वेश्चंस द फाइनल क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस करना भी ज़रूरी है, लाइक योर असाइनमेंट्स, because MBA में backdrops are there many, because in normal graduation programs through distance teachers लोग आप लोगों को ये पास करने का मार्क लिस्ट देते हैं, बट इन प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. सो यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर वेरी वेरी वेल like regular MBA courses. Okay, and here is one figure is there, steps in the implementation phase of SDLC. So development phase is there, there is an implementation planning is there, implementation planning training plan parallelly there is there, and conversation plan is there, in conversation is there. Then information system in operation, it again go through acceptance testing, then divided into post implementation audit and the initiation phase is there. Two phases are there. Then the post implementation audit, there is recommendation for future of the system and also lessons from the project also there. And next step is operation and maintenance. Okay, the operation and the maintenance phase starts after the users having accepted the new system. This phase can be divided into two activities. There is ongoing operation and support, and maintenance of the system. This is there in two activities. Unlike the other steps in the life cycle, these steps continues throughout the system's useful life, and the end of a system's life cycle is its absorption into another system or its termination. Ongoing operation and support is the process of ensuring that the technical system components continue to operate correctly and that the users use it effectively. And it works best when a person or a group has direct responsibility for keeping the information system operating. And this responsibility is often split with the technical staff from the IT's views and department taking care of computer operation, and a member from the users department in the organization ensuring that users understand the system and use it effectively. Day-to-day computer operation typically include scheduled events such as generating summary report from management and backups of the database. The operations manual specifies when these jobs should be done, when the database become almost full, or when response times start to increase, the technical configuration of the information system must be changed. This is done by allocating more disk storage space and unloading by backup or discarding data that are not current. And maintenance is the process of modifying the information system over time. That is maintenance. As users gain experiences with the system, they discover its shortcomings and usually suggest improvements. The shortcomings may involve problems unrelated to the information system or may involve ways that the information system might do more to support the work system. Regardless of the original intentions, some shortcomings are bugs, and important shortcomings must be corrected if users are to continue using an information system enthusiastically. Software programmers make the changes that users asked for and modify the system to reflect and support changing business conditions. These changes are necessary to keep the system running and useful, and maintenance is not separate phase but a repetition of the other SDLC phases required to study and implement the needed changes. And this maintenance is an overlay to the life cycle rather than a separate phase. The amount of time and effort devoted to maintenance depends a great deal on the performance of the previous phase of life cycle. So, and often the distinction between the major maintenance and cycle over and again and of a new development is not clear, which is another reason why maintenance often resembles the life cycle itself. So maintenance of three types: corrective maintenance, adaptive maintenance, and perfective maintenance. In corrective maintenance, in this type, the errors that creep into the system are removed, hence the name corrective maintenance. Adaptive maintenance, it is done to adapt with the changing external factors. Perfective maintenance, this is done to satisfy the user's requirement to make the system more and more perfect. So here is phases: feasibility study, project planning, detailed requirements analysis, internal system design, hardware acquisition and installation, programming and documentation, system testing, implementation planning, training, conversation are there. So here is degree of user. So steps and deliverable in the traditional system life cycle is here, and key deliverable plan or documents is there, key participants are there, and initiation, development, implementation. This is the three stages, and operational and maintenance level also. Okay, so this is about this chapter, and summary of this unit is here. There is a fundamental dilemma faced by anyone developing a computer application. Most problems are so large they have to be split into smaller pieces. The difficulty lies in combining the piece back into a complete solution, and often each piece is assigned to a different team, and sometimes it takes months to complete each select sections, and without a solid plan and control, the entire system might collapse. Thousands of system development projects have failed or been cancelled because of these complications, partly because of the problem that have been encountered in the past and partly because of technological improvements. Several Techniques are available to develop computer systems. The most formal approach is known as the system development lifecycle, and any major company that uses SDLC also has to have documents explaining all the steps in various phases, including SOPs, and mostly they are soft copies stored for reference as and when required. These documents also contain rules that MIS designers have to follow. Although these details vary from frame to frame, all of the method have a common foundation. The goal is to build a system by analyzing the business process and breaking the problem into smaller, more manageable pieces. Unit end exercises is here. So first question is, what are the different phases of traditional system life cycle, and what are the three phases of traditional system life cycle where users are highly involved? We already discussed these questions directly. What are the various steps and deliverable in the development phases, and in which phase of system life cycle the following are performed, and defining the problem, identifying its causes, specifying the solution, and identifying the information requirements, and what are the three major areas of feasibility which are addressed in system analysis. Which of the design lays out the component of the system and their relationship to each other as they would appear to users. So these are the questions, and this is reference sections, and if you need any more information, you can refer these textbooks. And this is about today's section. Next section we will discuss on next video. For more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents Ignou MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.